What is good, guys? It's Ray J back with another video, and in this one, I'm going to be talking about what's going on with Tesla, SPY, the QQQ, and many tickers out there, why the market is still looking strong as of right now, but there is one small red flag I just want to address. I'm also going to break down some important levels to look at. And before I break anything down about what's going on in the markets, what you should be watching for, let me just mention a couple of things. I'm personally not a financial planner, so take none of this as financial advice. And don't forget about the Moomoo link. The offer ends very soon. Put in $100 and you're guaranteed 5 free stocks with a $100 cash reward. But anyways, now let's talk about the markets. What on earth is going on? So for SPY, we managed to break above 440 and we held above it quite nicely. We were defending very well, getting these wicks right here. And as we got this back test right over here, I can actually show you on the 5-minute time frame. We touched 440.11, I believe, or something like that, very close to that. And as soon as we hit it, the algos got triggered and we saw a big surge in call buying. Lots and lots of institutions started buying. The algos came back, the robots came in too, and the market started pumping even more as more and more FOMO continued to pump the markets. Institutions, in a way, are FOMOing in some ways. Hedge funds are also piling in. But for now, we have to be very careful because even though we did break 442 and the market's still looking strong, yes, it could easily keep going. We could get very close to the 443 resistance to 443.5. We held above 442 for now, and we're going to be watching how well it holds. Now it's going to be acting as our support. But let me just add that there's only one small red flag I just want to address, and that is when you zoom out on the hourly time frame, there is a bearish divergence developing on the RSI. Now, hear me out. It is developing. That does not mean it fully developed. That means that if we get a big rejection, if the market gets some kind of like huge rejection, that's going to confirm that this bearish divergence is going to play out. The market's going to get a big pullback, or at least like a decent sized pullback by a few dollars or so. But right now, there's no confirmation of it playing out, and the trend is still more bullish. I just wanted to warn you guys about this just to be safe. However, besides that, quadruple bearish divergence developing on SPY, the trend is still strong in the hourly. If you look at the MACD, it's still very strong. It's likely going to continue to uptrend. 30-minute is still looking strong. If you look at this, it's still not showing signs of weakness, just a little bit overbought, but it doesn't seem to care so far. Continuing to pump. 5-minute is strong. 30-minute, 1 hour, 4 hours also very strong. The market is strong, continuing to pump quite nicely. There's also a bearish divergence on the 4-hour time frame, but there's no sign of it getting a rejection. So if it keeps pumping, it could invalidate this. But for now, we'll just have to wait and see. This is technically valid, but it's still developing. So there's no signal that the market has to reverse yet. It's just worth noting for the future. For now, it still looks strong in the 4-hour time frame. The daily is still very strong. The market is very, very strong still. No sign of major weakness, and we are continuing to hold up. So now that we're above 442, watch resistance close to the 443 range as we get very close to it. We're very, very close, continuing to break out. 443 to 443.5 is going to have some resistance. If it manages to break above that, we're going to be watching 445 potentially. And once again, if it comes down, support is going to be at 442 flat. If that fails, we're going to be watching 440. You can see many times it touched it. It had these wicks right here. If 440 fails, it's going to come down to 439, then potentially 438.03, which is where the 50 EMA is, but we're well above it for the time being. And the market is still holding up very nicely. All right, so the trend is currently bullish. Market still looks strong. There are bearish signals in the process of developing, but there's no guarantee they play out because there's no confirmation of them. Wait for confirmation before trying to go short on a market like this. So far, there's no confirmation, so we have to be patient. And also, the trend is still strong, so that's a very good sign. Another reason why it's strong is because of Apple, and also if you look at Tesla. Before I talk about Apple, Tesla is still holding up nicely. It is not pushing up as hard as the market, though. It got a really nice pump in the morning, very bullish looking candle before it started to trade sideways. And for now, it's just chopping back and forth between support and resistance. Support on Tesla on the 30-minute time frame is going to be around 255, which is where we have the 50 EMA. Resistance is around 257.65 or around that zone. Tesla's just going back and forth. Very boring stuff, and we'll have to wait and see which way it breaks. If Tesla holds above 257.65 and it gets a clean break, it has the potential to go up to almost 259 to 260. If it breaks 260, it has more potential to start flying. However, compared to the market, Tesla's not breaking out as hard. It's just once again going sideways, just a little bit in the red. But there's no true confirmation of it breaking in any direction, right? There's no confirmation of it breaking to the upside or even like tanking down. To get confirmation, it needs to get a clean break below the 50 EMA. So if it breaks 255 or below, we're going to likely see this thing get closer to the lower 250s. But for now, It has not done that. It's still holding up and still looking very, very sideways. So we're going to watch these levels very carefully. As for SPY, I mean, it's continuing to break the high of the day, still looking strong, getting very close to the 443 resistance zone, looking quite nice. And also, NEO is just continuing to rip. I'm sure you guys remember me calling out NEO a couple of trading days ago. About a week ago, I told you NEO looked very bullish to me, looked very nice, and this thing is now getting closer to $10, continuing to break out, looking very, very strong. AMD is a little bit in the red. No surprise here. It's getting very close to the 122 support. We're going to be watching resistance at the 30-minute 200 EMA at around 125.11 and then 125.5, which is where the 50 is. Let me also add that the QQQ is continuing to break out. It just broke above the 370 resistance, which is a good sign. It could be on its way to almost 372, or at least getting very close to the 372s. Holding up nicely. It is overbought on the RSI, so be careful there. But besides that, it's holding up very, very well. I also wanted to add that there is a bearish divergence on the 30 minutes and also the hourly timeframes that is developing, which means there could be a reversal coming soon, but there's no guarantee until we get confirmation. So there's no guarantee this bearish divergence plays out yet. There's no confirmation of a break. The market is still holding up strongly, so it's going to be fine. And also, if you look at the current trend, the 30-minute is very strong in the QQQ, 1 hour is strong, 4 hours is strong. They're all very strong for the time being. And we are getting very close to this resistance. There's a little bit of resistance at 371, not as significant as 372.5 though. And once again, it's continuing to break out, looking very bullish for the time being. It's continuing to break. You can see right here, it's trying to get above 371. QQQ is looking strong. It's getting pumped by many other tickers. Aapl especially is breaking out. Apple's currently breaking resistance. I called out resistance at 186 if it broke 185. Aapl managed to do that, and you can see it was chopping back and forth between support and resistance. Now Apple's trying to break out, so we're going to watch resistance at many of these different zones. We're going to be watching this thing get closer to 186.5, then potentially 187.5 after that, so watch that very carefully, our resistance zones. For now, Apple is holding up very nicely, looking very strong, very, very bullish. This is helping the market and also the QQQ pump quite nicely. Big credit to Apple. Nvda is also breaking out quite nicely, about to get a bullish cross in the 1 hour time frame. There is technically, I mean, if it does break this high, there would be a bearish divergence developing, but it's not really serious because, like I said before, there's no confirmation of it breaking down. Watch 433.3 on Nvda. It's going to try to fight that resistance. If it breaks that, watch 435 to 435.5. If it breaks that, could get closer to 440. Now, if it comes down, watch support, which is going to be closer to this 430 area. And below that comes 424, around that 424 zone, followed by 420.63. But for now, Nvidia looks strong. It's continuing to break out. Once again, looking amazing. Google's green. Amazon is getting very close to those highs. Meta is breaking out too. It actually broke resistance at 280, looking very good, getting close to about that 283.5 resistance, which could be followed by 285 later on. Market is strong. SPY just broke 443. Would you look at that? It's actually above 443, holding up nicely. We're going to be seeing how it responds to this resistance. 443 to 443.5. Watch resistance right over there. If it holds above 443.5 and breaks that, could get closer to 445. Once again, looking very, very strong. Now, for the time being, seeing that the market's quite overbought right now, this is not one of the best places to be going long unless we get a good entry point. I would just be very careful when it comes to just trying to FOMO into it or doing anything like that. Don't forget about your risk management strategies and the fact that it's important to be very cautious even during a market like this. There are bearish divergences developing that could lead the market to slowing down in the future. But right now, at the time I'm recording this, there's no sign of the market slowing down. SPY is continuing to break to new highs. We're getting very close to 443.5 to potentially 445. Tesla's breaking out. Now Tesla's trying to get above 257. It's trying to get into this upper range. It's getting very close to it. It's trying very hard. Let's see if Tesla could do it. But for now, market looks quite nice. All right. Anyways, guys, thank you for listening. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of the day. Please be very, very careful no matter how bullish the market looks. Always watch support and resistance and do what's best for your own portfolios. Thank you for listening. Nothing I said is financial advice. Market to the moon. Watch these levels. Tesla to the moon too. And peace out.